a classic one. So, love to see it come out, especially within Brazilian CS. We see it come out too a lot. Oh, and already the opening has been made. It is Ka with the first frag onto Insane. And immediately, the T side, they do show themselves for a second there. But try to regroup up first. The bomb still all the way in the back here towards top of middle. And they have a player over in lower tunnel, so perhaps they could try and go for a B split. Oh, but Ka has a little bit of extra intel now. They're going to be walking down towards that catwalk and try to catch off Ka off guard completely. Is tagged, but still alive.
Yeah, it's a good dink, but Ka can still do so much more damage, but whiffing a lot of shots on the players with their back turns means that, well, my goodness, the Joel Berettas on the B bomb site, they've just done everything. I barely have a chance to react. Well, with that, Isa has just mowed everybody down with the Joel Berettas, and a very promising start for Furia on their CT side nonetheless.
Yeah, great start. Now, the thing is, kind of had a very good idea to try and reposition there behind the box, but, well, luckily it bought them enough time for the rest of the team to come chime in. But this is pretty interesting. We do have an upgraded pistol here for an axe. The rest, though, will just eco it out. I think that is probably the wiser decision. Most likely, Furia, you know, they have the weaponry. It's going to be very scary to go up against them with a force buy, but oh lord, Gabi and Ka grab the opening kills, and the scout of Ka, it's definitely not looking to stop at all. Every single person's chiming in, and now that they know they're all over towards middle again, they're just going to be running out. Yeah, this is what we like to see, and hopefully they keep it clean. Of course, Ka is low, and Babs has that deagle in hand. But yeah, as long as they play together, there we go. Gabi grabs a kill. That's clean, which means Furia can now go for a bit of a bonus round, while Black Dragons get their first buy up on the board.
They have great discipline there from Furia as well. As you said, they have great spacing. They don't all just go rushing in and chasing the pistols. They keep the fight at range with Ka on the scout. And with that being a flawless round, that gives them a chance to build up some money in the background. And this will be a bonus buy round for Furia. There's every chance for Black Dragons to capitalize on the weaker weaponry. Would you look at this? Already taking top mid control. The A1S leading the charge, but it's Mari to open up. Babs, it's a nice trade. Looking for a second towards top mid as the A1S has been retrieved. Now A long is the point of contention as Isa. That is a gorgeous second kill. And Mari completely blinded, catches late. And this is all falling apart again for Black Dragons FEMA. Would you look at that from Isa? Great stuff, leaving just Anna in a 1v4. And I'll be honest, it's not looking fantastic for it, as this first buy round has gone horribly, horribly wrong.
And even in the process, was not quite aware of the positioning, but still managed to snatch away a lot of health onto Anna X. And the bomb is towards long doors, which I think is in control of Marie, but right from behind, Gabi comes in. And even with just an MP9, I cannot get the glue. But honestly, are you a fan of the glue?
I am a Galil enjoyer. I despise the FAMAS. The FAMAS is a tragic gun, but all my homies love the Galil. It's a great option when you want to go for util over that AK investment. And yeah, I can't tout its praises enough. What can I say, viewers? Are you a Galil enjoyer?
I definitely am. Yes, I totally agree. You know, if you have limited amount of money in the bank, Galil is a good second option instead of an 8K. Now for this round though, Black Dragons will have to do it with just some pistols, but ooh, that was a nice shot by Babs. Now Simon finds actually a pistol kill as well, and though the trades come in, that's at least a nice chunk of damage already dealt. But still, it's gonna get hard to entry aside, of course. But there is an M4 picked up by Insane. Now the nade, we'll have to make sure they don't take a lot of damage. Actually, a nade in return. Chipping away onto Olga, but she remains a sitting patient. Oh, but it's a great Molotov forces around, but oh, well, the kills still come through, and I was a little bit confused by the kill feed just now because it had Blackbird in the kill feed, but that is Olga. That might just be her Steam name, I think.
No, that means she's muted for being toxic.
Oh,
Deary me, Olga. Deary me.
Bad girl. Bad
Can
girl.
we get some CL_sanitize0 in the house? But yeah, that was a perfect flash assist there from Isa. Like, she is the reason her teammate is able to swing out of that Molotov and just pick up the easy fragging towards middle. As you can tell from Furia already, they're a very well put together roster. Their team play it's been great. It's great to see. And I'm looking forward to seeing some more of this as the game goes on. But it would be nice for Black Dragons to join the fun. And it will be a gun round here to reply to what is a 4-0 lead to the CT side. Orp in tow. And let's see what damage this big green can do towards middle. Smoke deployed and, narrowly misses an opportunity. The rest of the squad will be heading towards B by the looks of things. The bomb is waiting patiently outside A by the taxi.
Ooh, need in return. But there is a... Obviously hears those footsteps now, spots the player. Oh, but even though she doesn't even have to use the smoke, still grabs the kill nonetheless. And that's already an early opening. Dragons, though, they did take a bit of health away onto Isa. Oh, a bit of a missed Molotov there as well. But nonetheless, Furia remain in the lead. And now, Black Dragons have taken some space again through middle. Car's aware. They have the cross of mid pretty much on lockdown. They're in an anti-flash position, but this utility will all be revealing itself. The Molotov will be raining on the site, and the flashes will go. But instead, they're gonna make a change, try and go through the middle doors. But Isa is still here, and the flash didn't blind her at all. Now Olga chimes in with a kill, and it's all on the shoulders of Insane here, just with an orb. And honestly, if you can manage to save it, I think that would be the better option here.
I think that change of idea bit them quite badly in the back, as they just didn't really have enough time to adjust themselves, and they'd already used up quite a lot of their utility, and they just walk up into the open arms of the Furia defense and subsequently get mowed to pieces. Like, bomb was lost in towards middle, and there's nothing they could really do. Can't even hold on to the AWP here on the side of Insane, as Mari just finishes the job quite cleanly. 5-0 now to Furia, and talking of cleanly, this is a fantastic start. And you can see on the replay there, as they get funneled in towards middle, Isa does a great job of cutting down Sidon. And Olga, or Blackbird as she's now referred to, will mow down the rest of the charge. And there's not been much in terms of adaptation from Black Dragons just yet. They've tried a couple of things, but none of them have really found them more than a kill or two. Late, she tries to went through the Tech 9, but Mari and Olga, that's just gorgeous. There's nothing you can do against that. As Babs does find one for her troubles, but Mari is quick to shut things down again. With that, that's 6-0 to Furia. Clean as you like. The investment into the pistols and utility does very, very little for them. And the flash just missing the mark by a tad.
Yeah, sadly, a tad bit too late. The ideas were there. I mean, I like that they tried to go for a very fast and aggressive push on their eco. But, yeah, sadly it was Olga, together with the backup of Marie, completely in control of that push. And now, a bit of an AWP contestment.
Ooh, how was that
looks
miss?
of things. Yeah, that was almost a kill there for Car. But we'll safely now back off, just playing a little bit more passive, actually, towards the B site. Well, again, Black Dragons take control of middle, and at the same time, I think Car missed the 2 Ts here, woken up short, but the sound cues definitely are there. Which instantly gets a response going. Olga comes in with the backup from CT. They leave mid just completely open.
Interesting ploy. I suppose they've got 2 players in towards CT, making sure mid cannot be crossed on down. But it would be nice to have someone at least watching Catwalk on this Furia side. They've got so much A-short presence here, and they're stacking up. They've got actually a lot less utility than I expected them to for this A-site take, but it is going to be enough to get them to the site. The postmark, that's another story. But Car is waiting patiently, scoped on in towards this angle. Flashbang rains on down, and they will be blinded temporarily. Have both of those smokes just landed in the same place? No, not quite. Car has indeed taken down Anna X, though. And this is where things get complicated. They've taken the bomb site, but they've got no util left for this post plant, and that is where Furia are going to be able to strike back. They've got flashes of their own and the man advantage. But can they work against the clock?
Slowly, the Furia players get closer and closer, and of course, their kits on board. Not a lot of utility here for them to work with. Just the Baron would have to do. And Trace actually go back and forth. Now Carl with a very crucial shot. But at the same time, Sinan actually delays things by a lot. And it's planted for short. Now Lair needs to time and actually kills
There's no
the bomb.
time.
And, oh, yeah, this is rough. The diffuser was killed. Olga does remain alive with the orb. But it is the first round on the board for Black Dragons.
Yeah, it took them a little while, but they finally got their foot through the door, around on the board. And a valiant effort there from the AWP car. Manages to catch 2 on the cross in the end, but is cut down by Sinan on the bomb site. And with that, the timer ticks away, and we will have another gun round on our hands, but it's just Galils for 2 of these T-side players. And again, a severe lack of utility. They managed to get away with it in the previous. But I don't know up against this full investment from Furia if they'll be able to sneak another over the line. But Gabby, as a player, sneak past her, can't quite get the AWP shot off in time, being toyed within the lower tunnels. And there's 3 Ts here that she'll eventually have to deal with if they continue to commit to this play. Smoke has been dropped towards top middle for the time being, and a Molotov forces the Ts on back. And with that, Gabby will escape from lower tunnels, keeping the AWP safely in her hands. Just look at this from Mari. Very up close and personal to those A-long doors, and if she strikes with the right timing, that could be the bomb and the round in her hands.
Yeah. Mari definitely hears those footsteps. So the intel is there, cars holding the cross. As again, Black Dragons is setting foot on middle. Oh, and that's a lag. Unfortunate, but perhaps the nade. Oh, chimes in. 10 HP left on Insane. But they will remain alive. Now, another cross. Ooh, tries to shoot for the door. Isn't quite working out yet. We'll just fall back just in case. Because if the T's decide to go in and overwhelm, things might become tricky, but slowly the timer is taken away. Just 20 seconds left, and now the flashes will start to rain. There's players up close and in the smoke backside. But so far, it's a very good take by Black Dragons to actually clear out the majority. Now the backline as well. And suddenly, just 2 players, or actually 2 players down, but 3 left here for Furia. Ooh, Car tries to scope in with the orb real quick, but it's hard to retake. There's a smoke in place. There's still 4 of the T's remaining. You can see, even though there's a bit of money, you can see that they're a little bit hesitant. Now Lair instantly grabs 1, and they remain in control. That means Car has to back off with the orb, and it's another round actually on the board now for Black Dragons. So that's now 2 in a row.
Yeah, that's a much more successful endeavor from them. They win the round with 3 players remaining, and that's a sign of a convincing round win, and that's a desperately needed economy buffer. With these 3 rifles saved on over, they can drop over towards their teammates and have a full investment coming into what should still be a strong buy from Furia. They've got the money, and Mari had, I think, $14,000 in her back pocket, so that's 2 drops coming over from her. And, well, with that, still a 4-round lead for Furia, but they're not as invincible as they looked at the start of this map. And this is, of course, the map pick of Black Dragons. So it's only just that they should be busting out the big moves to take this one over the line.
Now, honestly, it was almost as if Furia was overthinking the situation, really not too sure where to play from, leaving mid open, and then struggling to keep a hold of the site. Just not really sure where it was actually going to be. So perhaps the I would like to see Furia go for a little bit more intel, because pretty much the only intel they have is with Car through middle.
I mean, they had a player in A-long doors as well that round too. If they had, after the bomb and walked past them, they win the round off the back of that almost entirely, because no one is watching for that kind of play. It's just they wait way too long to try and capitalize on that position. And as you said, it feels like Furia are overthinking things a little bit. And of course, you got to shake the rust off. First game of the season. And it's a revamped Black Dragons roster you're up against, so you definitely can't afford to rest on your laurels. But yeah, it's a little bit of overthinking perhaps, and a little bit of interesting positioning from Furia here.
Yeah, right, but the smoke, it actually gives the advantage to Marie there. So that's the first one now picked up, and Marie is actually eager for more. Oh, but now the situation just turned into a bit of a bloodbath there over towards short. In fact, now they're a player down. And again, Black Dragons is keen to set foot on a site. They are waiting very long. And perhaps if Ka can do the same magic again. Last time around, she got 2 kills, looks away for the flashbang. But now the flash, ooh, well, a bit of a missed shot. But now boosted up on top of the box, cannot quite hit it. And with 10 seconds left, but the other CTs are very far away. Oh, and now X even grabs Gabby in the process. So slowly, that money is going to be looking dire real soon.
I'm loving the pace and ferocity of Black Dragons on these site takes as well now, though. They seem to lack confidence in the earlier rounds, but now that they have a few behind them, they're really bringing the pain to Furia. And with that, it's only Isa surviving. She won't even be bringing an AWP on through, and it's just going to have to be a hero A1S round. They have a decent amount of loss bonus on the Furia side at this point, but it's still not enough to warrant a full buy. And yeah, with that, it's just really impressive stuff from Black Dragons. If they keep up this caliber of play, they're going to cause Furia some serious trouble. I believe the closest they've ever come to beating Furia was a 16-14. Although that could be the old Black Dragons roster, and I might just be going clinically insane. But yeah, they've come close before, but this is already looking far more convincing than a lot of their previous attempts at taking a map off Furia. And with that, it's Furia calling the tactical timeout because they clearly feel threatened by this resurgence from the T side. And with that, they also need to sort out their economy because it is not in the best of places. And in all honesty, I think the best thing they can do here is bring an SMG out on Gabby and Deagles on the rest of the squad.
Yeah, I think that would probably be the best option here. At least you have some firepower. And if there is one iconic combination on the Furia squad, it is Marie with a Deagle. Like, the shots that has been hitting throughout the first season was absolutely nuts. What is going to be a fan mass in her hands? Actually, are going to be going up for a buy. Just Ka, Isa, and Olga with a little bit extra left.
Oh, good stuff.
But, man, Isa does find the first opening. And that's already a really solid start now. Of course, they need to hold on to it because Black Dragons actually perhaps have been winning it over Furia in the mid round and late round. Whereas Furia definitely strike with the openings often. But this is the thing, you know, this is the time where Black Dragons slowly creep into Furia's head. And if they can capitalize on a little bit more, it's going to be really good conditions for Black Dragons. Now, very up close. Ooh, and together they're going to be striking, but instantly some kills in return. But the advantage remains with Furia. Now the smoke is in place. They can save the cross. So at least they do wait for the utility to drop to make sure they're playing this out nicely. But with now a picked up weapon for Olga as well. And we know what Olga can do when that AK is up in her hands. But time is definitely going to be of the essence. There is a kit and a bit of utility. They have to go in as a unit now from heaven. Right there is the strikes from above. And now just a single player left. And they clear it out. Only a single loss taken there in the retake. And that was super solid. The timing was on point. And they pinched them right on the site. So Furia bounced back even with a bit of a scrappy buy. But because of the back-to-back wins from Black Dragons, they can still buy up.
Yeah, it's a risky buy, but it pays off nicely there for Furia. I was going to say what Black Dragons really needed to do was capitalize on the lack of utility on the Furia side. They had the weaker buy, but no, they just got overwhelmed initially towards the B site, but then after all the utility was expended, that's when problems started to come back into the frame for Black Dragons. They've had a lot of very convincing site takes, but the post plants, one of them was very solid, but the first one they had got quite messy quite quickly. It came down to sign on and one more player towards short, and they killed the diffuser, which allows them to win the round. But in this one, they don't even need to start the diffuser whilst there's players still alive. They just mop up the site quite cleanly in an excellent 3-on-2 scenario. I don't think having the AWP in hand still was the right play, especially after missing 2 shots towards upper tunnels, and that allows them to get overwhelmed. In fact, even the window play is enough to deal with the rifle player early doors. And that is just rude from Carl on the AWP and towards CT, jumping around, land a shot on delay, and that is a very bad start for poor old Black Dragons as we head into round number 11.
Yeah, it was the piece of utility that slightly revealed the positioning there of Leia, as she threw in a smoke, then a Miss Molotov right into it. So they were aware that they had a feeling where she was, but then instead you strike it. Again, the hold is great, just dancing around the box. Now with the high ground, perhaps Babs could strike, does find one, and Gabby with a trade also one, but again, it remains close, but definitely a big health advantage, also a single player, and they have to push through that Molotov, and a missed shot there as well.
Oh, beautifully done.
As if it's nothing. Olga remains cool and calm as we know her, and she gets the defuse going. So that looked chaotic for a second, but, you know, Olga wins these.
You know what allowed Olga to do that? The Molotov goes too deep. And so you can see initially she's hesitant. She jumps back down in towards behind double doors, but then realizes, no, I can still comfortably stand on the window ledge. And with that, the plant comes on in, but she jumps over the top of 2 players. The AWP misses its initial shot, and it's a great solo retake there from Olga as she dances across the top of the boxes. And now a fast A-long take for both sides, but it's pistols again for Black Dragons. And what looked like a strong couple of rounds has been untied quite quickly. Olga finds another entry on towards Sidon, and Mari chimes on in as well. Molotov goes down, and this should be a very swift cleanup for Furia. Could even keep this one flawless if they're careful. As, oh, poor Anna. Down to 1 HP, but still good enough with the Deagle to find a double on 1 HP. Nicely done in turning things around, but oh my god, she's going to find a third. There is no way she has a chance in this round. Flashbang over towards Long, but Anna won't be attending that direction any longer. Grabs the bomb, peeks on around towards top, middle, and lands the shot onto Gabby. Almost a headshot, and you can see the eyes widening for a second there on Gabby as that very nearly spun wildly out of control. 1 HP, 3 kills to the tally, and oh my god, what a way to do a significant amount of damage in a pistol round.
Yeah, and this is scary, but the good thing is Fury have a big lead already. 6 rounds difference, and there's still quite a couple to work with here in this first half. Now, Ka doesn't really is bothered by that Molotov at all, just tries and peek. And so far, you can see right on the back of that round, their fire has been lit up again. Olga chimes in over towards Long, and again, they try to go in for an extra bit of control. Instantly, you know, they were lacking a little bit in the previous one, and go in with some hefty aggression. And I like this, because now you can see the pace slowing down from Black Dragons as they rethink their plan of where to go. And honestly, by the looks of things, they might just be going into short once more, something that they've been doing a lot. And now it's just 2 players over towards the A side. It's Car once again in the same car position with the backup of Marie over towards Long. But there is still plenty of time. We've also seen that A fake come through where then they try to run through middle. But I think the best bet is to just commit to the A side. Ooh, a bit of a team flash there in the same process, though. So that delays things, and at the same time, right from behind, it's Simon that gets caught off guard by Olga through double doors. And this is not the way you want to enter a site with.
Although they have been given the full site to plant the bomb for free, as much as I understand this is to wait for all the rotation to come on in, I definitely think they could have been a little more aggressive towards these attackers. Olga, though, taken down by Insane, as it's now a 4v3. Again, limited util across both sides, but there's not a limit in bullets flying towards the head of Mari. She's decapitated as well, leaving us in a 3v3, and the nade is good towards short. Keeps Leia at bay, but Babs They're going to keep even more players at bay as it's still a 2v2. Make that 1v2 for poor old Car. Dancing around with the AWP. She's got 2 isolated fights she needs to win, and there's no time left on the bomb. Wants to go for the kill onto Babs, realizes that her luck has run out and will force her way back down towards A Long as Black Dragons win another round with only a single player surviving, admittedly, but they do it in a dazzling fashion.
Yeah, we're talking about those after plans earlier, and even though they're a little bit chaotic, but this is the thing. Furia had 5 players alive, whereas Black Dragons are only 3. And the thing is, they give them the bomb plant. They have no effort in trying to deny it. But that leads them with, they're able to reposition, because Furia is actually coming quite slow with that retake, and then it sort of creeps all in your head again, and Black Dragons just play the waiting game. You have to come to the site. You are the ones to have to be defusing that bomb, and then they can just all play it out with Car, especially then retaking with just an AWP. It's tough, even though she does grab the necessary kills. Now, this round by Furia is not looking too great. They definitely don't want to be going for an eco and then buy up the last round. Just buy up double AWP and some pistols and SMGs around it instead. No AWP in the hands of Black Dragons, but they do have an opening kill.
Yeah, very nice opening kill at that. As unfortunately Mario only had a deagle going into this one, but Olga, with more than a deagle, finds more than a single frag. Gorgeously done, but Anna spraying down through the smoke. Can't quite catch the first, but instead takes down Olga's help. But Olga clearly doesn't need much more help as she finds a third to the tally in that one. And that's very nicely done. Great bit of mid-aggression there. And it seems that Furia, they're very, very aggressive at the start of the rounds when it comes to finding that opening pick. But they do get a little bit too complacent after they find the first frag of the round. And that's what we saw in the previous, when they find 2 opening frags, but still lose on a 5v3 retake because they're peeking one by one and they just are a little too slow, a little too passive. But otherwise, it's amazing how much of an impact Furia's opening kills have had on their round success, because a lot of the times it has spurred Black Dragons out of the rounds completely. Isa spurred down to 46 in this one. We'll hold on to that AK and flashbang. As Black Dragons, are they going to hold on to their upper tunnel's presence? It doesn't look like it for now as they pry towards shore. The bomb is rotating to B, so who knows what's going on inside ahead of the Black Dragons here. Perhaps with the 2 MAC-10s, they want to take some space towards the more difficult to retake site. Ooh, nice kill there from Isa, though. Shuts them down early doors, and the smoke goes too deep. They've heard this, but Gabby gets a freebie, and Olga finds another. It's falling apart here, Fearless and Sign-On. Not looking good for them on just a MAC-10, just a Tech 9.
Yeah, no. And actually, that's pretty clever what they did. They heard the sound keep the smoke drop there. And then at the back of that, they had Car come in and peek it. Oh, man, the confidence she has to have in order to do that. Obviously, it was just some pistols, but
very, very passive, and it has come back to bite them on occasion. So if Furia continue that trend on the T side, which I don't think they will, but that is one thing for Black Dragons to look out for, and one thing that they can try and capitalize on, because Furia do still seem a little nervous in some of the later round situations, and perhaps that might be down to the fact they have a new caller.
yeah, and it's very impressive that Olga, of course, very much the strong rifler that we know her as, is now also IGLing and still popping off with 20 frags. So
I didn't even notice. Jesus.
No, it's absolutely nuts. And well, hopefully she can deliver even more now. Actually, oh my lord, Sinon, the newest addition for Black Dragons, is popping off in the second pistol. 2 kills to an aim, and Insane. All of them are just popping heads.
Yeah, Insane in the membrane and Insane in the game, it seems. As Mari does finally trade one back, taking down the new kid on the block. 4v2 ensues. But this is where Furia struggled. They struggled on the retakes, and with very little utility to play with on the side of Black Dragons, I reckon they might too. Insane, keeping Olga occupied down towards CT, but now this is where she needs to shine, missing a lot of headshot opportunities, and Anna will take her down. Baz will follow up, and it's a very clean pistol round from the side of Black Dragons. They do let the bomb go down, but with 4 players left alive, I mean, that's armor taken on over, that's money built on up, And yeah, it's a very promising start to the second half of Black Dragons, and it's exactly what they needed, Fearless.
Definitely, but I wouldn't be surprised if Furia decide to buy up. I see a couple of pistols come in, so perhaps they just do that and try and chip away as much damage as they can, perhaps even steal it away. As we've been saying, Furia and pistols definitely are a dangerous combination.
Yeah, they certainly are. Well, in fairness, we've seen a lot of pistol prowess today from the side of Black Dragons. May I point back to Anna's 3k with an eagle on 1 HP. I've still not recovered mentally from that. That was just an exquisite play coming through. But with these Desert Eagles, as you said, they're a dastardly little sidekick to have. But Insane even more so, as she's just going to rip down the heads of 2. And that's a very quick cleanup from Black Dragons. Wow, very quick indeed, as Babs catches Gabby off guard as well, leaving just Car in a 1v5. And I don't think there's much left to say here, as Anna just farms up some more cash with that SMG of hers. Clean stuff from Black Dragons. Only 5 rounds separating these two teams now. And it's certainly not outside the realms of possibility that we do have a bit of a comeback here from them on CT side.
This round, though, will be very important. Of course, Furia now have their full buy back on the board. And on paper, their buy is a bit better than Black Dragons, as they still have a bonus round with a couple of SMGs. But perhaps they can win it in the util game. Oh, what a great flashbang. Completely blinded Gabby, but they're a little bit scared of the aggression that's coming through. Now, Lair is trying to push that smoke, but instead, actually, 3 kills each now. That leaves Olga and Izza to just chime in, go right into the side. The Molotov will be defused by their own smoke, but at least they have free reign of A.
I mean, that was pandemonium towards the bottom of A there. It'd be interesting to see if Black Dragons can riddle their way back out of this dire strait. 2v2 on the retake, but again, smokes are still on up, but Anna's up with a kill. Now it's all up to Olga in the 1v2. Anna is very low, admittedly, but if they swing as a unit, it will be tough for her to deal with them. But no, they swing as individuals, and with only 12 HP left, Anna stands very little chance. Great play from Olga, 23 frags to the tally. Still the heavy favourites, and with a 6-round lead, it will be a tough road to recovery for Black Dragons. They do have the benefit of being on the CT side of their own map pick, because Dust2 is, of course, the pick of Black Dragons. And Furia. Is that a Black Panther? The logo of Furia here?
Yes.
Good, okay. I'm not insane. I just had to double check before I made a fool of myself. But Lei won't be making a fool of herself. Takes full A long control. But Furia, they've got other ideas. They're prying towards lower tunnels, but so is Babs. Great opening kill onto Olga. An absolute nuisance to them in many a round with her incredible kill count. And that is a gorgeous grenade to follow on up, leaving the Furia players in a bit of a spot of bother.
Again, mid-control is being taken now. A flash comes out, but the flash actually didn't do that much to the CTs, but 2 good kills, though, still in return. So, at least remain with 3 people alive, but 2 of them on the Furia side are extremely low. So, if Anna strikes, and she does so at least on the player that is full health. So now, a 2-on-2. But they can still reposition themselves for afterplant nicely. And Black Dragons will have to chime in real fast.
I mean, look at the HP, though. Eyes are on a measly 7. Gabby on 35. They've got good spots. They are in a crossfire, but oh my goodness, Sign-On is gorgeous. A running headshot with a Galil around the corner, and Lei to seal the deal onto Isaac. Not much else to say there, but a pretty decent retake in the 2v2. Helped, of course, by the nades of earlier in the round, doing heaps of damage to them as they try and take mid-control. And with that, again, only a 5-round lead for Furia, as Black Dragons continue to bite back into this game. Will be pistols for the T side here, and as much as pistols can be quite advantageous in the rushes, whether or not they'll actually get to that point against Black Dragons is yet to be seen. They, again, have been playing much better than I think both of us thought, and they have been able to outmaneuver Furia in a lot of these circumstances.
Oh, flashes go out here towards long, so instantly a Molotov right beneath their feet to delay things. And you can see a lot of damage already dealt onto Furia. And of course, they don't really have that much to work with. No armor, just a couple of pistols. But my dragons, they instantly take the control. But interestingly enough, they managed to punch the bomb right after the nade lands. But good for Furia, because they got an extra bit of cash now in the bank. And these pistols are still fighting as it's planted for long. So perhaps Gabby can work some magic with that Tech 9. Sadly not. But Marie is, of course, still alive. Actually,
Not the Glock.
Another
No.
a Glock through the woods. Can you imagine?
Oh dear, that is it. That's a little bit embarrassing on the retake there, losing to a Glock wallbang. It happened to me last night, and I wasn't too happy, Veronique. I'll be honest. I actually uninstalled the game after that face it round. But we are at a 12-8 scoreline now. As much as the pistols do good damage and net themselves a bomb plant, the CT side are still comfortably coming back into this game, into this series. And as much as Lay is on the cursed FAMAS, it's still a comfortable buy, and they outmatch Furia with their utility. And so far, they've been outmatching them in a lot of their positioning. Lay, though, falls away from long as she hears the flashbangs rain on through. That's a lot of Furia players bursting out the double doors, and she doesn't really want to have to fight all of them with the underwhelming under-abilities of the FAMAS. I got to stop insulting that poor gun. But Mari, a nice insult to injury as a headshot rattles through, sign on to trade, and we have ourselves an early 4v4 scenario as a bomb site boost comes up from Babs.
Bit hesitant what to do with that short position. For now, they're just going to be holding it with an orb a little bit deeper into the site. But at the same time, long is not very actively held. They do have a player over close towards CT now. Insane has looked a different way, and she was burning there for a second, and a lot of damage dealt. But again, this time, Black Dragons actually seem to be winning that fight over Furia, as Olga is now also pretty low. But they are still alive. Olga and Ka, and Olga has 24 frags to her name already, and we know she can deliver in moments like this. Now, she's trying to make space, but the nade has taken her out. So with 25 seconds left, Ka's left a clutch.
Yeah, Ka completely out of the early stages of this round by playing too passively towards long. Tries to hit a lucky shot through the smoke, but it won't come into fruition. Insane. Still waiting patiently for her opportunity to strike. Might not even have to. Ka cut down from long by Anna on a great fast flank. Means that Furia, as much as they get another bomb plant down, which will stave off economic disaster for them, are going to let another round slip to Black Dragons, who have found themselves a 9th and could be going into double digits against Furia for, I believe, the second time ever.
Yeah. Black Dragons definitely haven't had the best scorelines up against Fury in the past. I can quickly grab them. Yeah, the best scoreline, as you were saying, was a 16-14. It was on Mirage, which surprisingly is the best map for Furia. So they definitely can do and work great magic. And they are creeping closer and applying the pressure onto Furia, getting in their heads a little bit at the same time. So Furia now, Black Dragons has taken a tactical timeout, of course. They can now reinvest into that round. They know Furia can do so as well. So this round is going to be very important to dictate the late pace of this game.
Yeah, Furia lose this one. If they let this one slip, it will have dire consequences for them. And it will make this T-side even harder. And as a new IGL, navigating a Dust2 T-side is definitely one of the hardest maps to do it on. Once things just start crumbling a little bit, once you hit that brick wall of a CT streak of rounds in a row, I mean, it's a great IGL that is able to recover from a scenario like that, and this will be Olga's proving ground. She's clearly a great fragger. 115 ADR, soaring at the top of the kill feed here. But her shot calling, as much as her shots landing, needs to be impactful as ever here. They're pushing up towards a short, and it will be a 3 versus 2 debacle. Flashbangs raining through. Mari, oh, that's a gorgeous entry, followed up by Olga's fragging. Into that, it's a completely open A bomb site, and they should know this as Car can push out through A long doors. Bomb, though, is stuck towards B tunnels, and Anna has every opportunity to deny this bomb from making it over to short, but I do believe they've just narrowly missed their window before going to save.
And they have a lot of space, of course, now over towards A. So, yeah, this is rough actually enough for Black Dragons. This round was very important. Luckily, hopefully, they can manage to hold on to 3 weapons. So that means they most likely can reinvest into the next Insane can drop over a weapon. But of course, we all know Furia is creeping closer and closer towards winning this first map then. And up next will be Mirage. And even though on paper that was the closest affair it has been between these two teams, but it is also the map that they've won of #1 team Nickma Galaxy, and they haven't dropped it at all during pretty much everything Impact related. So that definitely is a stat to be scared of.
Yeah, I feel like this has to be a map win for Black Dragons if they want to stand a chance in this series. Because again, they have won in the realms of Impact, and they've also won Mirage, but again, that most certainly wasn't against the side of Furia. Dust2, they have looked like a refreshed squad to some of their games from last season, and already finding 9 pretty convincing rounds to their tally has exceeded my expectations. Bearing in mind the last time these two teams met, I believe it was 16-4, 16-3 stomp, but Gappy stomps Anna early doors. Babs quick on the trade. Smoke deployed towards T-Spawn now as Insane catches another, and a game of timings plays into the hands of Isa, but it's 2 kills for the CT side, and Babs somehow manages to escape. Finally, Olga trades one back, but she's down to a measly 5 HP in the process. And this is looking like a 10th on the board for Black Dragons, as this could be a double-digit debacle.
Don't count out Olga and Isa, though. They're going to be chiming in, and they spotted a player very up close towards the doors. Oh, but now the panic chimes in. Isa is just not too sure which angle to peek first, when to pull out the utility in order for Olga to plant. And it's risky. She, of course, was very low, but they do manage to get that bomb down. Now, 2 versus 2. Furia still closely on the side, but Olga has an idea of where they are.
I mean, that's a solid recovery there from Furia. That seemed like an impossible bomb to get planted on down, but Olga, this is just insanity. She's managed to make her way all the way behind as Isa catches the first. This is so well played. 5 HP, but she gets the round done either way. Flashbangs blinding them as they walked into the site. Players from every angle watching their approach, but that is a 14th on the board to Furia, and a massive props to their tenacity, and they're just complete outmaneuvering of the Black Dragon side. A very messy retake from the Black Dragon side, and such a dodgy angle to overlook. Sidon tries her best, but it is a bridge too far with Olga still alive. And well, the IGL now has 28 frags to her name. That is insanity.
It's impressive. Well, she just adds to 29 as if it's nothing. Now, well, the pistol definitely does its work here. Okay, Insane grabs a second as well. Actually, no, she does have an AK now recovered. Now with a player advantage, you can see Furia is a little bit more aware. They need to group up all together. And Olga has already been pushing out, but at the same time, the lower tunnel players have creeped in, and they can deal with these players. Both of them go down to the pistols, and this round has completely crumbled, even with the picked up. Oh, that's disgusting.
That's a yikes from me, Veerless, for Furia. Not a round they can afford to be losing in a fashion such as that. And great stuff there from the Black Dragons to recover things so nicely. They do make it a double-digits debacle. They find their all-elusive 10th round on the board. And from there, they're only going to be looking to capitalize further. But Babs, what a star-stunning play. Just decapitating everyone with her sidearm. And yeah, with that, Furia, they're down to the pistols themselves. It's 4 Desert Eagles and a P250. No, make that 3 Desert Eagles, as Mari's on a Glock. And with this, I highly doubt they'll be able to replicate the success of the previous round from the Black Dragon side. Already eyes are down to 40. And the util just keeps on raining in. A free kill for Anna. Nicely done towards the upper tunnels. And I don't know what else to say other than, ow, wow, Olga. She's going to interrupt me again as I try and count Furia out of the picture. And that is going to be a free bomb plant on the A site. It's a similar mistake to what Furia made in the previous half.
Yeah, this time around, though, they definitely have the better weaponry. But Cobb with an AK now in hand could make it real scary. Ooh, Olga does go down from the nade once more. A bit of PTSD there right on the A side. But as we say, oh man, it got close. But they do hang on. And Black Dragons add yet again another round to the board. And they are still in it. Definitely creeping in closer and closer. But good for Furia that they can buy up. So they have another shot trying to make it map point.
Yeah, they certainly do. They got pretty damn close with just the pistols there. I don't know what it is about the pistols, but clearly giving these girls unbelievable levels of confidence. Because obviously there's so little to lose should you go down when holding one in your hands. But, oh, that is a rough opening kill to lose on the side of Black Dragons there. Carr, great shot on the AWP, will cause significant problems for this Black Dragon side. Only 3 rounds between these two teams, but that extension could well grow back to 4. With that opening pick again flying in furious volley. Anna playing ahead of the upper tunnel smoke. Won't be able to cause nuisance just yet, as it will be a full A stack towards A long doors from Furia. And as that util rains on down, surely the game has given up at least a sign on who is close by to hear this util. But no, they've completely abandoned the A site for now. But they should be coming up short in time to deny Furia this site presence. Smokes rain on down, the cross will be covered, a Molotov to deny the actual plant early doors. Furia still have a lot more presence here than the now 2 versus 4 scenario that Black Dragons have dug themselves into.
Perhaps the only good thing is that soon the utility of Furia will be running out. And there's still a lot actually left. Oh, Black Dragons, but then made good read and a lot of damage onto 3 of the ladies. Now, trying to spot over that smoke, at least to make sure that they're not being spotted just yet. So there's not that much intel as to where all the CTs will be coming from. 1 in CT and the rest all running from short, but it kills 1 by 1. The Furia girls all fall down, but it's Carr right in pit as she now needs to gas, tries to spot, has a very good idea, but will not get the shot. And that's unfortunate. Of course, they still had a smoke left. And with that, Furia's money, well, it hasn't run out yet, but it is definitely to something to rethink. You know, losing round after round now, and Black Dragon's creeping in closer. Keep in mind, it was an 11-4 half, and by the look of it, Dust2 is apparently a very heavy CT-sided map.
Yeah, I'd say most of the maps in the pool are these days. And especially when you've got a decent bit of teamwork, a decent bit of cohesion, when you're not just pugging around. CT side is a tough nut to crack, as Furia are discovering on their T side. Only 2 rounds in between these two teams now, and well, as every caster likes to joke, Zonic's law is certainly still a prevalent fear, especially now that it's 14-12. If Furia can't win this round, that's when things start to go south very, very quickly. They do not want their perfect record tarnished this early into the map, or into the tournament, sorry. As the timer is ticking down and the decision-making capabilities are fading away because there's so few rounds left to make them in. Smokes, they do rattle down towards middle. A Molotov to follow on through to clear up some space in Cubby, but Lay extinguishes it. And they have no real information about the mid-presence of Black Dragons here. Furia look again to strike towards this A bomb site, and they have been good at finding the site, but holding on to it has been a serious struggle. So often using up all of their utility in order to find the site in the first place. The post plants just have been bridges too far, but Isa Headshot not too far out of reach in this one as Insane goes down early doors and Gabby bags another. It's a 4v3 scenario, and this could well be the match point that Furia had eluding them.
Oh, they're very eager to try and deny that bomb plan, but it will eventually go down. Gabby even strikes with another kill on top of it. And now, just a very rough fight. 1 by 1, Black Dragons fall. And Furia is right back into it. Exactly as you were saying, this round they needed to deliver, and they do exactly so. But with those couple of rounds back-to-back, Black Dragons at least have a bye coming up. It's not the most ideal, but we do have an op now in the hands of Lei, and yeah, a FAMAS 2 times around it, and a pistol onto Annex, who is actually top fragging for the team, surprisingly. But perhaps she is confident with the aim today. I'll play a bit of a cheeky angle. Now, on the back of the side, what a great flashbang. This is exactly what you need. Try and get an opening. And, ooh, well, perhaps the smoke right now is not the best idea to delay things. Just hold it off for now. And they do so.
Yeah, the hot swap to the smoke kept me panicking for a second there. But now it's Furia who will be feeling that same tension. Mari rips the head off of Insane. The dazzling substitute for Black Dragons, but still a 2 versus 4 here, and Car does improve things significantly by taking out another of the B-side defenders. Bomb is still in tow. Black Dragons will be aware of the fact that she's still towards upper tunnels. Mari now spotted out from the top mid-rear flank. But Sinon can't quite catch her as she has her back turned. Mari again looking to deal with this presence towards upper middle, but can't quite catch for timing. And speaking of timings, 45 seconds left on the clock as Lei, she's got this angle steadfast held. And Mari, she's eluded me, made it through mid-double doors, and this is where things collapse. 1 versus 2 here, make that 1 versus 1 as Mari rips again through the head of Babs. Only 12 HP left, Sinon on 100, but it's AWP versus FAMAS, and the bomb will be going down on B. The game is saved.
Well, yeah, they definitely do. But again, Black Dragons sometimes struggle. They don't always win the rounds in a very convincing fashion. But they do hang on. And Sinon clutches it out. Currently going 7 for 7. Not too many deaths, in fact. Which is very surprising. But now...
Well, it's because of the half reset. Reset
and
kills.
But that's strange, because on Furious it is right.
It is the actual scoreline. I don't know what happened there, but it's just the server being a pain, man. I think it's because Insane left at half-time and it reset everyone's scores.
Yeah. Not too sure what's going on. But, I mean, still so far in this half alone then, definitely very impressive. Same actually goes for Onyx. 15 to her name. And, well, again, it is do or die here on this first map. Obviously, there's a second one to come, but that's going to be Mirage, the map pick of Furia. One that they've been very dominant on so far. Now, things have slowed down a bit in this round. And Lei has a feeling of what might be about to come. A flashbang comes through. But no one really quite peeking just yet. Oh, and at the same time,
Goodness me.
She survives, but the question is how long?
Well, she sticks it out for now. As the Black Dragons towards to say bomb. So they're going to take long control again to ensure that they haven't been pushed unexpectedly. And with that, they could well lead Sinon in the pit, which would be good for a potential retake scenario. It's a nice strong hold to have across the board towards A long here. Orpa watching towards short. They've got Lei on fast rotation towards CT. And Lei looks as if she will be called upon as that util rains on down. A site is being pressured, but oh, Gabby, this is gorgeous. Alert play that will go likely undetected. And if she can capitalize, they might call the bomb back. I think that's why they've waited so long for this ploy to come on in. But with 17 seconds left, they just need to execute towards the site. They need to climb on in, and Gabby, she gets a call that she's going to find that opening kill. She does, but Lei is there in towards CT. Rips the head off of Olga, and it is frantic fragging all over the shop. A 3 versus 2 now for Furia. Oh, no! The bomb's not going to go down in time!
They were too far away, and they waited too long. And this is the thing, you know, retakes on their CG side. I also felt that we were a little bit slow. They needed, yeah, just a bit more pace. And this is almost uncanny because Furia is the team we know for their pace. So again, perhaps overthinking the situation a little bit. And yes, a great play coming in there with the lurk, but everything just took a tad bit too long. And it could be the comms that were off a bit, but it results in our Black Dragons having a shot at OT here.
Oh man, what an opening game this would be if our first map against none other than Furia went to an overtime. Could this be a sign of the times are changing? As a team that didn't even make top 4 in ESL Impact Season 1 in the South American region is really giving Furia a run for their money in the opening map. Anna, that grenade could be a bit of a brutal one. Instead, the Molotov will be used to deny Car. And as much as we've talked about the fantastic fragging of Olga, it is also worth mentioning that Car and Isa, with their frags combined, barely scratched the surface of what Olga has been able to put up for the team here.
It only takes, of course, one round. Either for Black Dragons to make it to OT, or for Furia to still by an inch steal away the map pick of Black Dragons. Now there is a smoke in place, so that gives Furia a bit of room to work with here towards middle. But now is the question, is that also where they want to be committing? So far all the players have gathered up here, and now the utility will start to rain, at least with a little bit more time on the clock. But by the looks of it, they're going to make a run.
Yeah, this needs to be a faster play for Furia here. They have the means to overpower the Black Dragon side, and with not a single player on the bomb site right now, it's the perfect opportunity to get it down, set up that post plant, and as long as they can save that smoke on Car for the post plant scenario, I reckon they'll be in good stead to take this one in regulation, which would be crushing for Black Dragons after what has been an exciting opening match. Can they keep this one competitive? Can they take this to an overtime? Only time will tell, and they don't have much time left.
Not at all. A couple of flashbangs. They do start to rain as that grabs Gabby. Now Isa also 1-4, and 1 by 1, Furia is definitely struggling to hold on, leaving Car just by herself. She's completely blind, and now a smoke on the side. She will not be able to do it. And ladies and gentlemen, we have got a OT on our hands.
And welcome back to what has shaped up to be an incredibly exciting opening game in the ESL Impact League Season 2 South American stage. And, well, Black Dragons have done what many of us thought impossible and have taken none other than reigning champs of Furia to an overtime on Dust2, a map that normally Furia are pretty comfortable with. And Olga, very early doors, going to be quite uncomfortable as she's taken down by Sinon, getting aggressive. Isa able to trade, but down to 43 HP, courtesy of a very well-positioned frag grenade. And now with this renewed confidence, Black Dragons will be looking to close down mid-presence, and poor old Gabby is caught in between a rock and a hard place. Although they're not going to check her. Oh, it doesn't matter. That's a lovely 180 from Anna, meaning it is now a 4 versus 3 on this CT side.
That's rough. Gabby should have won that fight. She spotted the gun barrel, should have pre-fired, and everything perhaps could all spiral down from here. But Furia, ooh, they were looking to set foot on A, but it's going to be denied, at least for now. A lot of utility on the site as well, making it difficult to now try an entry. Car at least has an eye on short, where soon a player will be coming from. But again, a bit of a missed shot, and already right from behind, 2 kills come through, and that's a nice round. I love the pace that Black Dragons is playing with. You know, they don't hesitate with the retake at all. Well, with that, a 16th round on the board, and they come back in a lead.
Yeah, am I correct in saying this is the first time that Black Dragons have had the lead this map? Yeah, no, it is, because Furia went 6-0 up at the start of the game. So yeah, it's the first time the Black Dragons have actually been able to find the lead. And this is something that they have not been able to say before against the likes of Furia. And now with this, again, brimming confidence in their playstyle, Furia are going to be quaking in their boots. Olga has not had a frag in a couple of rounds now, despite that glorious 31 blinking on our screens. But what's even more glorious, this utility usage of Black Dragons, again, chipping away at Furia from the start of the round. Olga down to 42. Gabby spammed on through, but she does manage to find the opening frag. And so there is a bit of respite from that early util damage until Lei finds another frag, but this time it's with the frag grenade. 4v4 ensues, but again, the HP is a serious concern for Furia as they look again out of ideas and want to slow walk their way towards this A-bomb site.
It's incredibly sad. That was the third time already in this game that Olga has fallen to a grenade. But that shows, Black Dragons is on point with their utility. And, that's the way you should be using your nades, either to chip away some early damage or finish off a kill if you're a bit too far away to do so. Now, time slowly ticking down. And again, going to be making their way towards A. They do have a lurker over towards B in lower tunnel with Gabby that could perhaps catch a rotation off guard, but is still lurking a bit. Perhaps someone would come through, sure, but at the same time, time is still ticking away. Perhaps you need that extra player in order to actually get that bomb down. But also, it's Black Dragons that are a bit passive here. Yeah, and Babs... Oh, well, there you go. Right from behind. Not expecting them to rotate through lower tunnels. And that's a player advantage. Also, the health advantage remains, but Marie strikes with another kill onto Sign. Now, all three of them are pretty much clumped up here on the site. That could very soon become a problem. But again, time will be of the essence. That's one kill for Lei, but more kills in favor of Car as she swings and strikes with that orb. And yes, Insane is here. Quick scopes, and that's one, but time... I don't think there's any left. She has to run away the Battle of the Orb, and she will eventually fall as well. So that is now another round on the board for Furia, 16-16. But quite costly, actually, on both sides.
I mean, that was an excellent play from Carr to be netting that post-plant victory. But it's another one of those rounds that keeps us on the edge of our seats as we really couldn't tell early doors who was going to slip away with that post-plant victory. Another thing I want to note, though, is do you reckon Insane's going to be offered a contract after this? Because she's been playing very impressive this series so far. And, well, she's only the stand-in for this side, but if she was able to stand in and beat Furia on her debut with this roster, that would certainly set a couple of alarm bells ringing throughout the season. Anyway, regardless of roster moves, the role changes of IGL, perhaps another weight on the shoulders of Furia's star rifler that have prevented her from finding a kill in this overtime so far. Admittedly, there's a lot of unfortunate utility contributing to that factor, but also the past couple of rounds of regulation, she just wasn't quite able to find the same impact. Especially she was able to find her on that CT side, because it's a maliciously CT side of map, as the girls have pointed out to us here, as Babs spinning on in again will deal with Gabby, leaving Furia at another woman disadvantage. And now as they again try their hands towards A, they've had varying success towards this site. It will be Insane again to try and deny. She finds a gap in the smoke, but that's quickly patched on up. And oh my goodness, Olga, that is incredibly rude. As the headshot rattles on through the smoke wall and catches Insane completely off guard. Good grenade from Babs, plenty of damage done to Car, but it's not going to be enough to deny the plant. And it is going to be a 4v4 again with limited util.
Right, from long side, in fact, 2 kills. Of course, last time around, he had a bit of trouble with the time, as that was certainly against him, but now with smoke on the bomb, and Marie is feeling the pressure. She does swing onto Anna, but very quickly the diffuse cold already comes in. The only reference Furia really have of Black Dragons was the first season, which was already quite a fair amount of months ago. Whereas Black Dragons, they could have watched every single demo that Furia have been playing in the playoffs. And there's just a bit more footage of them to study. So perhaps the homework has been paying off. Now, A lot of pressure, of course, onto Furia. They want to get back into that game. So they are now back on the CT side, but they were oh so strong with 11 rounds in the first half.
I think Furia needs to get it to a point where they can win on their CT side, and that would mean winning all 3 rounds in a row here in order to hit that coveted 19th first. I reckon they've got it in them, but they need to have that cohesive team play we saw in the opening 7 or so rounds of the game that's not fully been replicated since. There's been a lot of silly mistakes. Again, losing that pistol round to Babs' incredible 3K was one of the biggest mistakes that this Furia side has made thus far, and that ruined their economy and also allowed for a very nice comeback for Black Dragons. Another thing as well is the AWP losing to a FAMAS one-tap through the boxes in the final or second to final round of regulation. That was a tough pill to swallow for the Furia side. That never should have gone in the way of the FAMAS, and that's not just because I'm a FAMAS hater. We're coming into the first round of the second half of our first overtime. Furia are again keeping it slow, keeping it mellow. Black Dragons want to burst out towards a short by the looks of things, and so the onslaught begins, and Furia are again going to be giving up the bomb site as Olga is very unlikely able to do anything from his current position, but no. She stays around ramp, and it's actually Black Dragons to slow the pace.
Oh, they're lucky that the Molotov stops Olga from peeking. But at least a bit of extra time chipped away for the team now to get her up. And Gabi here with the opening. Car also a good trade in return. And now everyone can start to swarm the site. Now it's left in a 1v3 clutch from Insane. And yes, she's behind the box. They almost line up as well. And it gets still a bit close. But Furia come right back into it. 17-17. And if either one of them needs or wants to win, they need to do so at 2 rounds in a row now.
Yeah, it's a very tightly contested game. And with Furia snatching away what was one of the greatest possibilities Black Dragons would have had around, it is going to be resting heavily on their shoulders. The streak that Black Dragons were able to put together has now been dismantled. And Furia look to do further dismantling as they take very early presence towards lower tunnels. This is great information gained here. And also, I thought that nade would have done more damage. Perhaps only takes 9 for our troubles and lays 7 in return. So it's actually Gabi to go down to 86. But again, none of this damage is particularly impactful just yet. It's trivial in the grand scheme of things, especially when we've seen what the Black Dragons util can do on that CT side. Gabi with a spam through the smoke won't be catching anything thus far, but we can already see a slower pace and a lot less presence gained by Black Dragons. They might want to go for a mid-split here, and they are going to be flashed across. Instead of going through the doors, though, they make their way up to short. But the bomb is in a precarious position as Cart catches Insane in a precarious position of her own.
And Black Dragons, they have now been doing the same thing over and over again, trying to go through a short, not a lot of map control, and now there's already a lot of CT presence here over towards that A side, but it's late, catching off guard Olga. She came in rotating through CT, and now suddenly very, very difficult for them to reposition. Car, yeah, she of course hears the players above her, but with an open hand, definitely not an easy task. Now, from short, 2 players strong. They want to grab some of the Black Dragons players. They do so in the form of Lay, but Babs is still very strong here in this position. Anna grabs the last, and Black Dragons now a single round away from taking their map and winning here in OT.
Honestly, Babs is my MVP from the second half of this game all the way through to where we are now in overtime. She has been going astronomical with her fragging numbers, her plays, her information gain, and Furia are seriously struggling to put a stop to her. Olga's only had 2 kills in the past, I want to say 7 or 8 rounds, which is very uncharacteristic for her. The same cannot be said for the side of Babs, who, mind you, has 22 kills in just the half and overtime. That's not including her first half kills, but she has been removed early doors here, and that is not going to sit well for the Black Dragons team, as, Isa will find one more, and Anna, good to shut one down, but is in a dangerous predicament with that low HP towards middle. The 3v4, and I don't want to jump the gun too early here, Veronique, but we could well be going to a second overtime.
Chances are 100% on the table. Of course, Anna also low. And the time slowly ticking away. They're going to be going for a different site now. But again, with 4 CTs remaining.
That's going to hurt.
Oh, well, it hurts Silent for sure. It doesn't end the live advantage just yet, but right from behind, Olga does strike, and Gabi is able to keep a hold of the site. So 18-18. Things looked a bit more rough. What do they need to do in order to recover?
I mean, honestly, they just need to get their confidence back, because when they were playing with confidence in the early game, as much as there was a couple of pistol rounds and a couple of S&G rounds thrown in there, they were landing their shots in incredible fashion, and they weren't allowing Black Dragons so much space. And now that Black Dragons are remaining on the T side, they will be looking to outmaneuver the side of Furia once again. So far, so good, as Furia locked them out of both bomb sites. Nades to force them out of long doors as well. The bomb is left in towards T-spawn, as Gabi will find the opening pick here. And that speaks trouble again for Black Dragons, who are now dealing with what looks to be a more confident Furia, as they're getting angry at how long this first map has been dragged on out. But at the same time, Black Dragons, they're not going to go down without a fight. They just need to make sure it's a little more of a cohesive one, like we saw from their more impressive rounds in the first half of this game. 2 of their site takes, in fact, 3 of their site takes and 2 of their post plants were very, very impressive, but they were only glimmers in what was a very difficult T-side for them. And again, if we can see those glimmers reappear right now when they're needed most in a second overtime, I think they might just be able to take it to Furia. But Furia, again, as I said, they're not giving up as much space, and they are now playing with more confidence again. Car, as you can see, is playing from sight rather than all the way down long, and just got Mari ready and waiting to trade, and a CT player coming in to support. Oh, that's a nice shot.
Oh, that's beautiful from Car. She had the right idea. She was a bit hesitant, perhaps try and shoot through the smoke, but the position. They definitely spot Car. Car is still quicker on the trigger, making 3 kills. All right. She definitely doesn't want to stop. She wants to keep Furia in the lead, and they will do so in a very nice and clean fashion. All 5 of them remain alive. Black Dragons, of course, here in OT, there's plenty of money to work with. They must sting, as Black Dragons, they were very, very good of entering that A side. And I think Furia might have just cracked it.
We're talking of cars. That first shot was a nice little Ferrari peak from the AWPer there. And that absolutely seals a safe A-bomb site. And that's great stuff from Gabi. This is where it might start to fall apart a bit for the side of Black Dragons. But Insane, the substitute for today, has cut to straight back on down. 3v3 ensues, and Furia are not out of hot water just yet. Smokes are deployed. They will continue to deny A-long presence for this Black Dragon side. The halt has been called, and they slow things down as they allow themselves a moment to think about where to go next.
All of them remain on long. And Fury actually don't have that much intel to work with. They did push deep into tunnel, but of course there's also a lot of time for Black Dragon still to try and enter your site. So now though, with the amount of utility that is raining here over towards A, you can instantly see that shift go here to that A site, and the rotation of Isa also needs to come in. The bomb plant, it will come
that's risky.
Very exposed, and Gabi says,
Gabi!
And denies the bomb plant with a no-scope, a quickly no-scope. Ladies and gentlemen, we have seen it all.
Oh, but Babs, she's not done fighting yet. Gabby thought she was safe after finding the nose. Oh, Eisner plucking Babs out of the sky. This second overtime, it just keeps on delivering. Insane. One way to describe this half will go down to Weiser and Furia. By the skin of their teeth at the end of all that carnage, will find a 20th on the board. And Black Dragons, oh, I said it was a risky plant. If they just held on for a few more seconds, they could have decapitated the jumping Orpa. But that is just stunning stuff. Oh, as you said, Kukli style in all its glory. And Black Dragons now, they desperately, desperately need this final T round. Otherwise, Furia could well be allowed to run back away with the first game of this series.
It's rough. The pressure is on. Furia definitely the only couple of inches separated from winning this first map. But definitely, if that were to be the case, they didn't go without a fight. Black Dragons, and I wouldn't even count them out of this round so far. Oh, Lei has a good idea, even though while blind, and does tag Olga down a little bit, but she strikes with the first kill. Now gains the advantage here for Furia. And also takes quite a hit through the doors, and that's now 2 players advantage. Furia, they are looking to close this map out.
Yeah, Furia unleashing their fury on the poor souls of Black Dragons here. They got into it using some black magic. They had sword in their back pocket, but that has all but dissipated into the sunset. As Furia are set to win 3 on their CT half of overtime number 2. It would take an astronomical force from Black Dragons to bring us to what will have to be a 3rd overtime at this point. Again, I shouldn't rule them out of this round. Anna still has plenty of opportunity to capitalize on a single defense.
That we have to give them props for, but now the pressure is on. They need to win 3 rounds in a row if they want to win their own map pick. Of course, after this will be Mirage, and that is the map pick of Furia, which, keep in mind, they haven't dropped yet at all in the entirety of ESL Impact. So it's a very scary prospect to come up next in the future. So if Black Dragons at least want to have a shot, they might have a better one if they win their own map pick. Now, for this round at least, Long is completely denied. One player did creep through, and they're going to be checking that right now. But Marie actually grabs the kill onto Lei, but Insane also comes in with some kills of their own, shutting down the initial short push there of Furia as they make their way through the middle towards B.
Oh, that's messy from Gabby, though. That was a free kill just handed to her. But it is a game of trades instead. 3 versus 2 ensues. Anna very unlucky with that reload timing. Gives up her position, and this is going to be a nightmare B-site retake. They've got a Molotov, 2 smokes, and a flashbang to do it with as Gabby deploys one of her own to deny Double Door's presence. They've gone for the split. It's incredibly risky. The AWP is patiently waiting, beckoning for Xenon to walk into the crosshairs. And a Flick will give up the fact that she is towards back boxes, but what's even worse is Gabby's just found Insane, leaving it all down to Xenon, the new kid on the block in the 1v2, jumping up on top of the boxes, I believe spotted now by Carr, who decides to duck back down. They're playing time, they're playing crossfires, and Fury